Well, good evening guys. It's 6:30 on Saturday the 31st of August today, last day of August. As you can probably see, back down the canal. Back down here really because I really enjoyed last week, to be honest with you, catching all those bream. Thought I'd give it another go, see if we can't have a few roach and hybrids out as well, maybe some more bream, and of course some zander. I've come to the same stretch, but I'm a little bit further along at the moment. What I've done is I've come to a bush, if you can see through the sun, it's just setting over there. Come to a bush there that I had some success in the past. So what I'm doing, I'm walking up, doing a bit of fish spotting, trying to find some fish, as that was pretty successful last week, so I'd found them. So I've just had to wander up. I haven't got that far yet, but just come to this bush, and I thought what I'd do is, while I sit here for 10-15 minutes just watching out for fish, signs of activity, I'm going to just drop a zander rod under this bush opposite me here, and just see if we can't nick an early zander out. Just on the rod top twitching. Something's that old, but anyway, definite zander puncture marks. Well, there's a few boats moving, as you can see, still. I think what I'm going to do is just break the float rod out here. There's been a few fish topping by the reeds over my shoulder there as well. So there's certainly some silvers about here, and clearly there's some zander as well. So I'll move a little bit along so I can fish down to this bush and put a little bit of ground bait in. I'm not going to go too mad in case I do want to move. And as I say, because the boats are still moving, they just churn it all up. You know, it's 3 foot deep. So every time a boat goes past, you know, the bait goes everywhere. So I shan't go too mad till the boats have stopped moving, and you know, until we know there's some fish here. So that's the plan, I think. Not yet. I've been here very long, but not yet. That's fairly instant. He says bream don't fight. It's not even very big. There we are. I thought perhaps there was a bit of roach in him in the way he was fighting, but no, definitely a bream though. Fab. You're gonna be in trouble, mate. You're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be in trouble. So, right. I know, can't put your nose in there.
Selective hearing, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he's alright. He can stay with me, keep me warm.
Hey, that looks nice to me. Come on, darling. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Come on. Buster, come here.
Supercharged. It's certainly going here. Compared to last week, they're really fighting. There we are. not the stamp of last week, but hello. Getting back the. Just had a knock on this Xander rod. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're away. Yeah. What's all happening now? Oh, no beast. Fab. Well guys, no monster, but lovely little fish. Fab. Hopefully his big brother's down there. Sure, I've got the gear out of the water, I'll show you what I'm using. For the Xander fishing, I've actually got my TFG all-rounder here. Not sure exactly on the test curve of these, they don't really state it, but it's certainly 1.5, 1 3/4. It's reasonably stiff. Got 8-pound line on there, and just a low resistance run ring there with a 2-ounce lead on. And then the trace, because there's very few pike in here, but there are a few. I'm actually using something my mate Steve, if you remember the Xander fishing videos from the close season, Steve put me on to, is catfish link. And it's like catfish material, it's very abrasive resistant, but it's very flexible, which is what I like. Just got an anti-tangle sleeve on there, just to kick it away from the lead. And on this end, probably see that better if I do that, I've got a circle hook. Do like using my circle hooks for predator fishing. Always debarb them as well. because on the odd occasion when you do get a deep hook fish, they're much easier to get out. And probably noticed, you may have noticed my fingers are a little bit yellow today, because I'm using some dyed bits of roach, and it's actually just boilie dye. Just leave them in boilie dye in a small bag in the freezer, and they tend to soak it up. Smelt take the colour very well, but these little bits of roach do as well. I'm going to get this back under this tree, and then we'll just go through the float gear. So guys, just to run you through the float setup, I've got my centre pin reel there loaded with 4-pound line. I've got my John Wilson Avon quiver rod, which is set up with the Avon top on, obviously because I'm float fishing. The float I'm using is Drennan, one of these Drennan glow tip floats. This is a 3BB size, attached just with a quick change float adapter there, so I can take it off basically when I pack away without packing the whole rod down. What I've done is I've undershotted this float just a little bit, just so that it cocks to about there. The idea being that what I've got on the other end, about 3 inches from the hook, I'm fishing the lift method, is a BB. Now that BB is enough to drag this float under. So if I am fishing and I'm set too shallow, the float will go under. This is how I like to have it set up. Vice versa, if I'm too deep, if I'm set too deep, the float will sit up in the water, so I know exactly what's going on. And the idea is that it's called the lift method, that if a fish picks up the bait and picks that shot up, the weight of that shot up off the bottom, the float will lift up in the water. That's the idea anyway. And that's what happened in that last bite. Got size 14 on there. Size 14 hook. I'm fishing bread, maggots, that really better than maggots. I've got some casters and I've got some sweet corn as well, which I may use, but they're going to be the main baits I'm going to look at using. I do like using bread in the canal because it can be a bit choddy and a bit sort of sludgy on the bottom, and I do like the fact that the bread will just sink very slowly and will settle on the top. Anyway, it's starting to get dark. I'm going to get my torch set up, because if you saw the last video as well, I tried to make it so that you could see the float as well, because I do like when I'm float fishing to have the float in the beam of the torch. I'll just show you exactly what I use now. Let me just grab the bits. I need to set it up now anyway. So what I've got is one of these sort of flexible tripod things that you can buy for your sort of action cameras and stuff. It's only a few quid off eBay. And I've got a torch which has a focusable beam on it. I can focus this beam down or open it really wide, so I can have that really focused on the float. And this, I've literally just araldited a I think it's 1/4 inch, I think, nut onto the bottom of the torch there. This will then, with a quick adapter, will just sit on top of the tripod, and it's got a ball joint on the top. I can angle that exactly where I want it, and that's, you probably saw it in the last video, that's what I'm using just to illuminate the float. I am a bit funny about having light when I'm fishing, but it's all relative to me. The road runs behind this canal, and there's headlights on the water a lot, so having a bit of light to me here, it's not an issue. It's just what the fish are used to. You know, if I was fishing the Avon where it's very quiet, very dark, then, you know, I wouldn't be shining torches on the water. I do illuminate my rod top with this torch. I do keep it sort of pointed up and pointed away from where I'm fishing. I know a few people have asked me when I'm going to get back down the Avon. I am going to get back down the Avon this week. That's the plan. It's been very low lately, and when it has been up, it's been up and banging through and horrible. And I've been enjoying my float fishing, to be honest, and sort of sussing out a few new waters on this the club I've joined. But definitely this week back down the Avon, see what we can get out, see if there's any barbel left. We do seem to be getting them thinned out by our furry resident, but by the same virtue that the chub do seem to be doing really well because of the the lack of competition from the barbel. But I'm sure there's a few still left, so we'll have a go for them and catch some chub and bream, I'm sure, in the process. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get back to the canal fishing. And I hope that came across, guys. That lifted out the water. It's a better fish. Wow. Running me all over the canal. Well guys, lots of fish topping and stuff at the moment. Wow. You said this fella. It's a proper one, isn't it? God, they're fighting tonight. Wow, they're fighting. I think the water's cooled down a little bit and it's freshened them up a little bit. Right, let's get him back. Hopefully have a few more. Oh guys, we're in. They're really scrapping today. Wow. Wow. I think that's the biggest one of the day. There we go. Finally had another one. Been struggling for perhaps an hour. I must have had 10, 15 bites. Just couldn't connect on anything, but finally changed over from bread to maggots and had this fella pretty much straight away. We'll stick on the maggots, I think. Fantastic. Oh, we're in again. He's plodding around. Another fantastic bream. Well guys, how about that one? Proper bronze one. Proper bronze bream. Wow. Fantastic. Really good plodding fight as well. Not renowned as we know bream for their fighting, but these guys tonight are putting a scrap. Wow. Fantastic. It's a proper one, isn't it? We're having a few now. That's really good. Really enjoying myself again. Well guys, it's been about half an hour, possibly even 3/4 of an hour since we had that last bream, and I haven't had another touch, not a nibble. Float hasn't moved at all. I don't think there's any fish down there anymore. Whether they spooked off or quite what's happened, I'm not sure, but I think that's enough of a hint for me to make a move for home. Now, I know last time at the end of the video I said I'll see you down the Avon, and clearly things changed, but this time I definitely will see you next time down the Avon. That's the plan, getting down there in the week. But had another great session on the canal, really enjoyed that. Had first lander of the season as well, and some lovely bream. Getting to know this section of canal certainly, and I do like it up here. It's very natural looking, and it does feel almost like a river, and once the evening comes, the boats die off, and I do really like fishing up here, so I'll certainly be up here again. But you know, next time out I think it will be on the Avon. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling, and I'll see you again in the week down the river.